So let's move on to Liverpool. So Liverpool loses 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Once again, I'm going to blame, like you said, these guys have been getting out of jail free. I call them the kings of three, which means that it doesn't matter how they play, they get their 3 points. But today they get nil points. I'm going to go back to Slot. Tactically, so many tactical mistakes. Can you speak to what the mistakes this guy made today? Falabi, yeah.
In the central areas, I think they were exposed. McAllister and Gravenberg were very, very pedestrian in the sense that they were slow to every ball. The Crystal Palace players were quicker and they pressed them at every opportunity they have. They didn't allow them. Liverpool likes to build up in a measured, slow way. They didn't give them that opportunity
Yeah, and
yesterday. They were in their
also they used a 4-2-2-2, and
yeah.
what you call it, Crystal Palace exploited this because there was a disconnect between the midfield and the attack, even with the defense. Everything was disjointed with their with the formation that he started off with, and then again they messed up on set pieces. What are your thoughts?
Yes, they were outnumbered in the midfield. They messed up on set pieces, which is another area where Crystal Palace is always so formidable. They like corner kicks and long throws into the box. And Liverpool were ludicrously poor in defending those kind of situations. And like you said, Liverpool have been very fortunate in all their games that they've won. They have been depending on moments of brilliance by their star player, not necessarily teamwork. And that is why I feel Klopp needs to, they bought a lot of luxury players. Instead of buying Florian Wirtz or Alexander Isak, they should have gotten at least one formidable defender, So, but they
We
didn't
said
do
this
that.
yesterday. We said this yesterday.
Yes.
We said this yesterday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is very important. And another thing was Luis Diaz was sold to Bayern in the summer. I think that guy is a little bit more functional than Cody Gakpo. He can stretch defenses. So I've not seen any
Yeah.
other player on the left that can do what Salah does on the right. And then because of the midfield that was not functional yesterday, Mo Salah was isolated in the attack. There was no connection. He couldn't get balls. He kept running into offside positions, and it was well marshaled by Gehi, who was the main center back for Crystal Palace. So I think the coach Oliver Glasner did his homework well. He studied Liverpool
Yeah.
games, and he was able to
And
punish all the
he
errors.
jams them because them using the 4-2-2-2. He jammed them because he saw where there were gaps in their connection between the midfield and the attack, and he blocked those spaces and took advantage of it. And then at the right time, they were able to score. Now, Slot made some adjustments later, but it was just too late. It was too late.
It was too late.
Second half didn't have enough time, and we saw this before where Slot makes tactically. We have some questions about him. Remember when he substituted both fullbacks at the same time, and then they gave up a goal? I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Um, he's going to have to come up with a more conventional formations. Just keep it simple, like Barcelona. If you want to press and do high press, don't make these complicated 4-2-2-2. What do you think? Yeah.
Yes, and that's the problem with most of these exotic European coaches. They come up with the right template, but they have to simplify it. Look at what Crystal Palace plays, exactly what Amorim plays at Man United, but they're two different outcomes. They are succeeding with their own 3-4-3. Man U is failing with theirs. So, like you rightly mentioned, Klopp needs to simplify things. Instead of trying to play 4-2-2-2, that is not very, is not a system that the players are used to. Under Klopp, they were playing a 4-3-3, high energy, high intensity. They didn't even allow teams to settle down. So what Palace did was just to, they tried not to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. What they did was they were just blocking passing lanes, tried to improve.
Muhammad Ali,
Yes, they were blocking passing lanes. They were aggressive. They defended in numbers. Sometimes when Liverpool, when Palace did not have the ball, they were five at the back. When they got position, they pushed one guy to the midfield and they sent long balls and tried to transition quickly, which caught Liverpool very, very flat-footed, especially when Van Dijk and Konate were high up the field. So I think Liverpool needs to improve things. I think they need to bench Florian Wirtz for a couple of games. He's getting frustrated because he's not influencing the game. He's a luxury signing. The way he was playing in Leverkusen is not quite the way he's playing here because the systems are different. The Premier League is faster, is more physical. He needs to be eased into the team. And maybe the coach needs to tweak the system, to bring out his skill set, but it's really not affecting games. He's really not influencing any of the games. I
Yeah,
think
because of the way they play,
they need to give him a rest.
with the way they play with pressing, if a team puts a low block with the way they play blessing, then they have to start relying on real football, which is passing the ball, combination passing, inverting. Those are the things you have to do when it's difficult to break a defense. You understand?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, other teams, like maybe a team like Arsenal, will pick up on this and just park the bus. What about Isak? How he played in the first half? How many minutes did he play?
Oh, he
The
was
whole game?
atrocious.
No,
No, he
he didn't play the
started.
whole game.
He
No.
actually started the game. This game was his first start of the season. His contribution was atrocious. Not really his fault anyway, because like Salah, he was isolated. The midfield was not combining well to give him the through balls he needed. And he had a sitter that he missed. And the Crystal Palace crowd, they were trolling him. Wasted money wasted and stuff like that.
And
So,
and here's the thing. I like look at these guys like Isak, very good player, but I have questions about his character. The way
yeah,
he was behaving on the internet when he was with Newcastle, the
yeah.
way he was behaving,
No, it was
very disloyal.
disrespectful. It was
I know you want to
disrespectful.
leave.
It
I
was
know you want to leave,
disrespectful.
but
Yeah.
he's not. I don't think he's professional.
He
I don't
was
think he
he's
has a
not.
professional.
He wasn't.
There's a lot of these guys like Osimhen. A lot of these guys they have. Well, at least Osimhen puts 100% on the pitch. Isak is always injured, and I'm like, sometimes you
Yeah.
have to humble yourself. Look at
Sure.
Eze.
Sure.
Eze didn't cause a scene at Crystal Palace.
No,
He
no,
didn't
no, no,
cause
no.
even though he left, he didn't cause a scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have questions about this Isak guy because maybe we all know he's talented, but maybe he's starting to believe his own hype too much, as if he's the
Yeah, sure.
Messiah or something.
Sure.
Yeah. What are your last thoughts?
Yeah, like you rightly said, yeah, he's only had one fantastic season for Newcastle, and he came
Yeah.
from Spain. He came from Real Sociedad in Spain. All of a sudden, he started to see himself as the next best thing. He
They were
disrespected
already
Newcastle.
calling him the best number 9 in England. Come on, the best number 9 in England is Haaland.
Of
Finish.
course, of course,
Haaland scores goals whether Man City wins or lose.
of
How many does
course.
he have? 7 goals this year. Go ahead.
Of
All right.
course, and he's not usually very fit. That's another problem with him. So it's like a gamble. That money should have been spent on a defender for Liverpool
Maybe
instead of
he's
bringing
instead of
him in.
going to the gym,
Yeah,
he's eating ice cream with his mouth.
that's just it. So I think it's a reality check, and it makes the title a bit more interesting because Liverpool were
Arsenal,
threatening. They were
Arsenal
threatening
has to play Newcastle.
to go away with it. They were threatening to go away with it, but now it's
Yeah, I'm so mad.
the
But that's how the
pigeons.
EPL works. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
That's
was
how
saying.
the EPL works. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was saying now it's put the cat among the pigeons, so it's open now. It's been blown open now, so it's going to be more interesting as the weeks come
It's
by.
a two team championship.
Yeah,
It's going to be
Arsenal and Liverpool.
yeah. Maybe Man City can come back. I don't know. Man City, but did Man
Yeah,
City beat a small team yesterday?
Man City has become
Five
so
one.
unpredictable. They win some, they lose some. You never really know. And they were
Oh
they were
yeah, Man
they,
City
they,
is crazy, man.
they were
All right, take us out
usually
of
very very Man City were usually very consistent before, but we don't know what's happening these days with Guardiola's boys.
You're up and down. You remember week one? Week one, I was saying the best of the star. What's his name? Tijani Rangers is the best midfielder in the world. Where is he now? But one thing I can say, what's been consistent for them is Haaland. Haaland is
Mm.
scoring his goals.
Yeah, scoring goals. Yeah.
All right, take us out. Nice one.
Okay, it's been another brilliant football show. I've been discussing how Crystal Palace was able to overcome the league leaders Liverpool and get 3 points at home, and how they moved to the second place in the Premier League. And from Mustafa and myself, we'll be back again next week. Like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.